You may use the Identity Federation wave to do transparent service integration of the federated services into local environments like single sign-on domains and link collections. Let's have a look at how that can be done. First, the setup here, we have, of course, the services, the federated services. On the left-hand side, we have wayf, the federating component, in the middle here, and then we have institutions or identity providers on the right-hand side. One of them, number one, has a local single sign-on system with services attached to it. So when the user goes to one of these, they of course go to the login system here, and we have, because of the single sign-on motor, created a domain where you don't have to re-authenticate when you go to different services. This is all very good, working very well. And this is also where people keep their internal link collections. So if you want to now integrate one of the external federated services into this link collection in an easy way, you may use pointing links. A pointing link resides in the link collection and points, of course, to the service. But it has more to it. It also points to where you want to log in, and that is the federation. So the link goes actually to the service first, then it points to the federating component, the wayf, which is the red arrow corresponding to the red part of the link, and then in turn it keeps also a third information, which is which institution you want to log into. And of course you want to log into the same institution where you already logged in. Now, as the single sign-on system is already operating, you have a session there, the information can be issued back to the federation and then back to the service, which can then let you in. So it happens very quickly and completely transparent to the user that you actually either use services internal to the single sign-on domain or external services via the federation. The only thing that can come in between here is, of course, the consent dialog about the information about the user being handed over to the service. If the user has already consented and asked the federation to store that consent, there will be no user interaction whatsoever. They will just be redirected directly to the service. A different concept, but the same functionality in principle, is called heimat. Heimat means the place you come from originally. And what happens here is, of course, again, that the user goes to the local institution. They create a session with the single sign-on domain, and then here comes the difference. The single sign-on motor issues a response with personal information about the user to the federation, and hereby also creates a session with the federation, and in effect actually expanding the single sign-on domain of the local institution. So when the user now goes to the link collection, the link might look a little different, a little more simple than the other one we just looked at. Here you go. First of all, it points, of course, to the service. So you in the browser gets redirected to the service, but it also points to the federation wayf. Now, what happens then is, of course, that wayf already have a session going and the information about you, so that it can issue back immediately the information here to the service. Again, the consent dialog might come in between, but otherwise it goes very fast. So let's have a look at it. It's implemented, and I would like to give you an example. So I click on Roskilde University's Portalino, which is a link collection. It's a protected resource, so I will have to log in first, of course, using my username and password. Like so. Now I get to the link collection, and here we are. And I can do many things. I can read my webmail. I can go to all kinds of services, group management services, and so forth. And an important one is, of course, the dictionary, which is a federated service operated by an external company. So if I click on this link, you will see that actually I'm getting redirected immediately, and I go to this service, and there's actually no interaction whatsoever from the user side. So here we have integrated an external service via the federation into a local link collection, and nobody really notices. Well, someone might see in the address field of the browser that there are redirects happening, but that's actually very normal these days, and nobody will actually tell the difference. So you can now integrate federated services into local systems or environments very easily using pointing links or HIMAT.